everybody, and welcome back to Photographer Life Check. I'm your host, Chrissy, and today we have the illustrious Titilayo Ayangade. Hey!
Thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to have you here. I want to start off with you like we always do with the photographer fit check. And it came correct. I'm liking this tee. So please let us know what it is that you're wearing.
Okay, so I've been obsessed with like mesh tops for transitional weather. Like you can just pop a little sweater on top,
Mm.
a little jacket, blazer. But this one with the little finger holes is from Affirm. And then I'm just wearing some jeans from I don't even know where. Thrifted, vintage.
I love a thrifted denim, truly.
Yes.
Okay, photographer fit check for me today. I have my Greenwood Rising hat on, one of my favorite hats, and then I have my little Prince sweater on. We were just talking about this before we started recording. I like to wear it for tennis, but it's a pickleball brand, and I've never played pickleball.
Yes. You got to get out there. It's just like that.
That's what everybody is saying. Everybody is like, pickleball is so fun. I've seen it played, but
Yeah.
I've just never had the opportunity to yet.
Yeah.
Do you
Love
play
it.
regularly?
I do. So I just got back from Hawaii and we were
Mm-hmm.
there for our honeymoon and I played pickleball every day for 9 days. So that was like
Every day.
the most regular I've played, but usually we get out like once or twice a week. And I grew up playing
Oh,
tennis. So yeah.
you love this shit. You
Yeah.
love pickleball.
I do. I'm true to it. I'm true to it.
That's beautiful. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm so excited for this conversation, but I've been like playing around. Just so you know, Titi, we're coming up on the end of our season one. Hey! And I'm very excited. I feel super proud of the way that we're wrapping up. It's been feeling really good. But because it's our first year, I've been playing around with how I've been formatting episodes to just see what feels good, see what people gravitate towards more, see what like feels more comfortable to me. So for you, I want to start off with our PLC playlist. This
Ooh.
is actually a new little segment we started only a couple months ago because music is really important to me. I have music or a podcast playing almost all the time. And I'm like, I need music incorporated into the podcast. So what we decided to do was to create a playlist where all of our guests gives us a song and we add to the playlist. So when the girls are on set, we got something to listen to, you know? So can you please put us on? What is something that you've been loving recently?
Oh my gosh. I really love oldies, like, kind
Yes.
of like Motown stuff. And
Yes.
so I'm trying to remember the name of this song, but this is like my all-time favorite song. And it starts like it's like I get chills up my spine every time I look at you. I think it's called like
Let's
the
see.
stylish clothes you wear. I'm trying to remember what it's called. So that would be an amazing one for sure. And then I always love some Cleo Sol. So like Self is a good one.
Oh, yes. That's such a good
More
one.
up to date. And then, I mean, I'm still living off the Cowboy Carter album, to tell you the truth. That made my summer a couple years ago. So I just had
Mm-hmm.
Plastic off the sofa playing on the court this morning. So yeah, I
Okay,
would add
wait.
those
Let's
to my
have
playlist.
the thing that came up was El DeBarge. I like it. El DeBarge. Okay, got you. Perfect. Adding this to the list. I like it. Okay, for me, my addition today to the PLC playlist, I gotta open Spotify. I gotta see what have I been listening to be honest. Oh, you know what? I'll add Jungle Dominoes.
Oh,
I was that last year Jungle dropped that Orange album.
let me look that up. I don't even know.
Oh my God, please. So Jungle is this incredible band. I think they're from like Amsterdam or something. They're definitely not from the States. But this last album, in 2023, the orange cover, that's the one you should start off with. Top to bottom, no skips, girl. No
Okay.
skips. Rent is down. Like when I tell you this was on repeat, repeat. So Jungle Dominoes is one that I was listening to a bunch yesterday. So I'll add that one to the list today.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Love.
Okay. Now, this is one of my favorite segments, and honestly, most people's favorite segments too. And it makes me really happy because this is the kind of the foundation of the podcast to me. It was the first question I came up with because I like to ask people this question all the time. And considering the work that you do, I would love to know what's a photograph you wish you would have taken but never did?
Ooh, like one that like that I've seen out in the wild or like that I would see like
Yeah.
okay.
Like you've seen, not
Mm,
like necessarily taken by someone else, but like, you know
yeah.
how you might just see an image? Like you could be sitting in your living room, walking down the street, and you'll just see an image and you're like, oh,
Yes.
that's a perfect photo, but you didn't get to take it.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. So like a beach photo shoot. So every once in a while, like I get to travel to somewhere
Ooh.
warm and like gorgeous. Like I've been to the island of Guadeloupe that's near Haiti.
Mm.
And then I just got back from Hawaii and like all these places, I'm always like, wow, like I wish I had like hit up a model and like got her on the beach and like something like that, but with like extra lighting, you know, like the sunset's wrapping you in all these colors. And then I want to add in some more stuff, like with some
Yeah.
gels. And I don't know why. I just like, haven't set it up yet. It's
We gotta
coming. It's
get you to
coming.
the beach.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, cute. Well, speaking of the gear that you're talking about, this next segment is called The Gear Don't Matter, but this segment is important to me because I think artists are more than the gear that they use. And I think people who aren't photographers assume that the camera is doing all of the work. But with that in mind, we do love our tools. We do love the things that we use because it helps us make the things that are in our mind, the things that we are imagining. So I want to know, what's your favorite piece of equipment that you use? And it doesn't have to be a camera, but it can be.
Okay. So can it be like a technique?
Yeah, absolutely. No one said a
Yeah.
technique yet.
So my favorite like thing would be a combo, I guess, of like constant lights and shutter drag, but shutter drag because the constant light could just be
Oh,
whatever. But yeah,
I see that in your work a lot. Yes. And we're going to get into that. Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into the life check. If this is your first time tuning in, Photographer Life Check is all about image makers and what's going on in their life right now. Now, Titi, for you, something that I love that I haven't had on the podcast yet is the multi hyphenate, the specific multi hyphenate that you are. Over here, we love a multi hyphenate. I think in terms of like music artists, we've had a photographer slash singer before, but never a photographer slash cellist. And I was like, what is this? I love this. I've never met one in real life, let alone had one on the podcast. So I was just like, I need to talk to you. I need to know what your brain is like, what you're thinking about. And I'm so, so grateful that you're here. So that is where the basis of the conversation is, right? So you
yeah,
capture music artists so beautifully. And I think partially that's because you are a music artist. So I want to start off at the beginning. I did read that you started playing at the age of 5, but you didn't start it. You didn't start to take it seriously until you were in your teenage years. So I would love to know why the cello, and if you started with other instruments and then found the cello.
yeah. So like you were saying, I started playing when I was 5. I was really lucky, you know, as a kid to be supported by like my mom and the public school system. Like they put a cello in my
Oh,
hands when I was
period.
5. And the
Let's
school was down
go.
the street from my house. So shout out to Cincinnati. If you haven't been there, it's such a musical town, all kinds of music, not just classical.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was the very first instrument that I played. Maybe I played piano for like a couple weeks before, like in church after like Sunday school, but it was
true.
cello from the beginning. Yeah, and then what made me take it seriously was finding a community, and that's called
Mm,
chamber music. So like playing not just by yourself and not like a big old orchestra or anything, but like, you know, 4 people, 5 people, it's like your friends, and you get to like
yeah,
talk about how you want it to sound. Like kind of imagine it like if I look at it like through a photographer lens, it would be like your team on set is your chamber
yeah.
music team. So yeah, it was like my first sort of team building thing, and I felt like I found some acceptance and some community, and that's what got me hooked when I was maybe like 13 or 14.
Okay, cool. Because I did want to talk to you about chamber music. I saw that in a lot of like the bios and stuff, and I'm like, what is a chamber cellist? So everybody in your chamber is also playing other instruments, right?
Yes, sometimes there can be 2 cellists. That would
Okay.
be like called a cello quintet, and then there would be two other violinists and one violist, which is like it's just a little bit bigger violin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the viola. I also saw that you have a duo with a violist. Is that how you say it? Violist?
Totally, yeah, violist. Yeah.
It sounds like it's missing a letter or something, you
I
know?
know, doesn't
It's like
it? Yeah. Yeah, no,
but
I have a
we're gonna
duo
get into the duo a little bit later. I want to
for
start off
sure.
with like the beginning of this creative career. So
Yeah,
that's your teenage years where you're like you're in this chamber and you're like, wow, I love this. I feel like I found a community.
exactly. And so then I started like, because it's very rarely permanent, like the group that you play with. I mean, I
Mm,
this is like now later in my life, I was in a string quartet for about 6 years, so, like, that can
hmm
be, like, the same people for a long period of time, but when you're, like, in your teens, you're sort of you get put with whoever for the quarter or the semester, and so then I started looking for more of that. I wanted to go to summer festivals for that too, and so I
Ooh.
started, like I would be, like, in Vermont for, like, the month doing whatever, like, playing with my little friends, like, cello
As
and
a
chamber music.
teenager?
As a teenager, yeah. Since I
Whoa.
was 14, I've never really been home in the summer.
That is so brave. That's really beautiful. And you go alone.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, you go alone. I mean, as I got older, like, it started to be like I would see some people or, like, I would know some
Yeah,
people, but if you think about it, like, the people that you meet when you're 14 don't all go to the same college, right? But maybe 1
exactly.
or 2 of them end up there, so it was kinda like that, and now that I'm however old I am, I have all these friends from that age. I still, like, see
Yeah.
people that I, like, went to for like, when I was 7th grade playing music with, I still play gigs with them in here in
Yeah.
New York. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. I love when it comes back around like that. I feel like it
Yeah.
always does with maybe one or two people. Sometimes you
Yeah.
get lucky and it's a bunch of people, but okay, that's really cool. So now with my imagination, it's kind of like a music summer camp where like every summer you were like, I'm about to go to this new chamber. I'm about to go lock in Vermont.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Exactly.
So I really appreciate this context. Did you also come from an artistic family or a musical family?
Not at all. Not a single, like, artist for career in, like, my family. Everybody has been, like my grandma was a dental assistant, my mom is a psychiatric nurse, my dad was a pediatrician. I just, like, went my own way.
Were they ever worried? Probably not because of the type of instrument it was, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if they were worried. I think there's some of my family who are still like, "Wait, wait, what do you do?" Like, or they know I live in New
Really?
York and they're like, "Wow, she's in New York." Like, mm,
I mean, when I was doing my research, I do research for every episode. I like to base previous things you guys have done to not like ask the same questions. I love formulating like a new different question. But I saw in that research, girl, you've been everywhere. You've traveled with your would I say your quartet or your chambers?
yeah, my quartet.
Your quartet. Okay, so you've traveled with your quartets like so many places. You lived in so many cities. Like this is
Yeah.
clearly a full-fledged artistic career.
Yeah. No, it is. My mom is locked in. My mom's been there for like everything and she'll like fly and see me play concerts. Like she's seen me in San
Oh,
Francisco and Texas, in France. Like she'll be there. But
yes.
I think like some of my grandma, like she can't hardly see anymore and she'll call me. She's like, "Now, where are you?"
Right.
like, like just playing a concert in like Florida and she's like, "Wow, that's crazy." So,
Oh, that's so sweet.
yeah.
So
I
then
wish I could take
with
them with me, but I can't.
no, for real.
Yeah.
That is the thing about traveling where I'm always like, I want to be like how you go to a show and you have like a +2 or something. It's like, I need
Yeah.
like a +15. Like everybody just come
Exactly.
through.
Exactly.
Okay, so boom, we have the basis for where music comes into your life, which brings me to this point where I was reading an interview and you said, music emits sound and photos emit light. When I'm photographing subjects, I try to show what kind of inner light a person has, or in some way to show what they sound like. I love
Mm.
that. I feel like you put language to something that I feel when I'm listening to music. Like I mentioned earlier, music is just really important to me. I have a huge collection of CDs. I have just always been interested in artists, and I think there's just like this deep relationship to image and sound to me. And so to find someone like you who has this practice, I was like, I want to know how your brain works. So to see that quote where you're like, you're trying to find the sound in this person, what this person soul might sound like. At least that's how I read it. That was my perspective. I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I would love to know when you picked up the camera and what inspired that.
Well, I got to give a shout out to my uncle, Uncle Don.
Okay.
He probably will listen to this.
Yes.
So, hey, we love you. He
Yes.
put a
Hey,
camera in
Uncle
my
Don.
hands. He literally did. So,
Really?
I mean, as a teenager, I was like kind of, I had like a little a Nikon Coolpix, and I would take pics of my friends like on
Yeah.
like the Dutch angle, like for funsies, like with like cool emo like looks. But I wouldn't say like I was like a photographer like growing up. I mean, I liked visual stuff, and I did have like sort of a visual art background. Like I used to paint and draw as like a kid.
Hmm.
But my uncle, like I went to undergrad for music. And so I was majoring in cello performance, and you got to take all these electives. And I was like, oh, I don't want to take like another language. So what else can I do?
Mm.
And I saw that they were offering like a photojournalism course. And I was like, that seems cool. Like I get to go and like take pictures of the different things on campus and do different assignments, but I didn't have a camera. So my uncle was like, "Oh, like I have a camera and like you can borrow it if you take photos of my Boy Scout troop." So that was my first photo shoot was his Boy Scout shoot.
Yes.
I wish I could find these photos. I would love to see them. Probably so
I
funny.
would love to see that. Did you take it on the cool pics?
No, he had like a Nikon D80 or
Oh,
something.
true, true, true. Yeah.
Yeah, and like some kit lenses, and I just love that camera. I used it all throughout undergrad. It was everything. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
what got me started taking photos. And then what like got me doing musicians, because like I jumped into photojournalism right away, was that I was in music school, and like I
Yeah.
had a roommate who was this beautiful violinist, and I was like, "Hey, like Caitlin, would you like can I take some photos of you?" So I took those
Yeah.
photos, probably posted them on Facebook, and then another friend was like, "Hey, like do you take photos like for recital posters, like for performance posters?" I was like, "Yeah."
I can. Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, like, can I pay like, can I buy you a bottle of wine?" And I was like, "Yes, that sounds great." So that's literally how I got started. And it was just like taking pictures of friends, like in between classes after like rehearsal for their like concert
Yeah.
posters.
That's so cool. Shout out to Uncle Don. Anytime we
Yes.
have like a little gem in the episode, I always put it in the show notes. So I hope you are listening, Uncle Don, because you are in the show notes. We love you over here. But that's so cool. It did seem like to me that, of course, many of these people, likely still today, are your friends. It just makes sense that you would have like a bunch of musician friends. Um, and I was already gonna ask, like, what was it? Like, who was the instrumentist that started you on this journey? So that's really beautiful. Do you think your music roots influence the way you make images?
Yeah, for sure. 100,000%, because like you are the people who you spend the most time with, and like that is
Mm-hmm.
true on so many levels. And it's true photographically as well, because of course, like I wasn't as busy, or I didn't have like a business doing it when I was in undergrad and like younger and stuff, but I would
Yeah.
see people's photos. I would have my photos taken for things by like these professional photographer gurus who are still like the music photographer in Chicago for classical musicians. And like I know them,
Right.
and like so I was seeing all that work even when I wasn't like actively consuming it to like do photography. And so when I started to take pictures, I already kind of knew like what people wanted, because one
Mm.
thing, and maybe we'll touch on this more later, but one thing that's been maybe challenging to live in the classical music sphere, especially, is that people kind of need to look a certain way in some sense. So I
Yeah.
definitely push like the boundaries, but I still know that like the manager, they want this, they want
A
that.
certain, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. While we're here, I'll just start pulling up your work right now so we can talk about it because I love it. So, boom, boom, boom. Every episode, we always pull up our artist's work so that
Huh.
folks can see all the beautiful work we're talking about while we're talking about it. Off rip. I love your website. When I first found it a few months ago, around the time I reached out to you, I was like, oh, she's a creative director. Like, there is so much more happening here. Like, this is beautiful. But
Thank you.
yes, to stay on track, we do know that agents and managers want a certain look. And like you said, especially in this industry. But I think you still have a lot of room to play, or you give yourself a lot of room to play. And I wanted to know if you're creative directing some of these shoots, or if these artists are
Mm.
coming to you like, hey, I want to do something different.
No, I basically creative direct every single shoot. The girl on the right here, the motion blur, she did come to me and she was like, "I love what you do with motion and I want that." And I was like,
Okay.
"Cool." But sometimes it can be interesting because a lot of people love the motion stuff, and so then I have to find like I can do it a million ways to try and get it to look
Yeah.
slightly different. Like this one was also motion blur, this right one too.
This one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like with some stuff in front of the lens. So yeah, yeah.
Incredible. It's such a unique approach. I've never seen anyone else shoot musicians in this way. I love the way you use motion blur and you do it uniquely for every single person. And I think that adds so much value. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
fun to sort of creative direct the projects as well. Sometimes it's like just how I'm trying to read what people like look like inside. It depends if I share that vision with them beforehand or if they want me to just sort of like play it out and then they see the photos at the end and they're like, "Wait, that's me." So
yeah.
depends on the person.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what are the conversations like? Like, are you just like natural flowy? Do you try to keep it to music so that they can get comfortable? I do recognize that, I mean, plenty of people who aren't like technically models are uncomfortable in front of the camera. I can be uncomfortable in front of the camera and I direct people in front of the camera all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like totally understandable. That's not shade. But just in that way where I'm like, oh, a musician is probably just so into their instrument that once it's like, okay, it's picture time, I can imagine they might be timid sometimes.
Yes, people can definitely be timid or I think it's like, you'd be surprised. It depends on what musician they are. If they're a string player, they might be more shy, but if they're like a
Mm,
opera singer or sometimes I'll also do like actors and stuff, they know how to turn it on the camera, and so, like, when you do an
yeah.
opera singer, it's just like a completely different environment, like, they'll just, like, give you this immediately, and so I'm like, "Oh, let's go." But, like, with a musician, like, I they might be shy or they might just be ready to sit there kinda like like school day photo, but then because I like hold a cello myself, I think they trust that like I'm not gonna make them look like a stock photo.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
that's kind of the vibe that I feel like a lot of managers are looking for. It's like they kind of want the stock photo. Actually, I saw some images that like they feel like classic poster images, these two. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, these are her classic. And to me, as a photographer, I'm like, oh, she's putting this in her portfolio to be like, I take the normal photos too, but everything else is going to be fun and creative and different.
Yeah. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I need to update my website. I have so many more photos.
That's so
Ah,
real.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'll be putting all of our image makers on the spot because everybody's like, oh my God, girl, I haven't updated my website in a year or two.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm like, I need to send you to the client gallery section.
Right. That's what I'll start doing for season two. I'm just like, I'm going to
Yeah.
ask ahead of time. Y'all got a private gallery y'all want me to use this time?
Yeah, I mean, you never know, you never know. There's been some
No,
really
truly.
far out stuff. I did a shoot the other day with for a violinist, and she
Hmm.
had this photo from when she was young where she was posing with like the violin covering her chest, like she might have been topless, and now she's like 40 years older or 30 years older, and so she wanted to recreate it, but we did it with a
Yeah.
sword as a bow instead of the violin. So like there's all kind of
Oh,
stuff that just came out of the kitchen. So I need to get
that's
that out there.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I'm assuming your main job would be a cellist, right?
Not necessarily.
I
I
like
this is
this.
something
Do
I
tell.
find really challenging to like define. People are like, "So is it like 50-50?" And I'm like, "How about 100-100?" Like,
Period. Yes.
I've moved into sort of a phase where I try not to do them on the same day because it can make me
Yeah.
feel a little like like fractured.
Yeah.
Yeah, I it's really 50-50, if not 100-100.
That's so beautiful. It made me really happy. And honestly, I kind of got a sense of that, but I think potentially just because you have a longer career as a cellist, there's just more information of you being a cellist out there. But
Yeah,
especially when it comes to your Instagram, I was like, it feels like she's doing both all the time. And that made me
yeah.
so happy because I'm definitely the type of person, and I think it just comes up on the show a lot too, where it's just I have this feeling like I don't have to choose. Like I can just be whoever I want and do whatever I want any day. And if all of a sudden tomorrow I decide to just be a pilot and neither of these things anymore, it's like, yeah, now I'm a pilot. Like, yeah.
Wait, I love that. I need to take that with me. That's so good. I mean, sometimes I really do. It's actually really interesting that you said that it seems like I'm doing both, or like that because sometimes I hear from the classical music world that it seems like I must be taking more photos than playing.
Oh. And of
Yeah.
course they would feel like that. It's like, girl, where you at? Do you have a large photography community in New York?
I actually do not. I have
Okay.
basically a very small photography community. I have a studio share with some amazing
Which
Black
I saw. It just
photographers.
opened, right?
Well, yeah, they've been going for a little while. I joined them last year, and now we just like made it a pure space and made it like a more of a community space. So I love that, and
Congratulations.
they're all amazing. But like, they're really the ones know. And then I went to
Yeah.
Eddie Adams a couple years ago, and I've stayed in touch with some of the people in New York. But like, my access to photography has been almost solely through music. So what the little
Mm,
like niche I built myself comes from music. I
yeah.
very rarely know photographers, but I try and stay close with the people who I meet.
Okay.
Like, I love everybody that I meet.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I was just thinking about it in that way where it's like, oh yeah, your classical community is probably like, girl, you shooting all the time. And then your photography
Yes.
community would be like, are you gonna pick the camera back up? Like, where you at?
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. It's hard to post about.
That's yeah. Well, huge congrats. I definitely saw that and I was gonna put a note up. And actually I'll just pull up your Instagram right now so folks can see.
Okay.
It's called My Cousin's Studio. Just got on Peerspace. Clap it up. One thing I really appreciated was that this space centers Black, queer, and trans creatives. That made me so happy to see, and that it was, really important for you and the whole team. So make sure y'all go. If y'all are in New York, go rent that out. We need to be supporting each
Yes.
other.
Yes.
Is this your first studio space?
My first, yes. I was doing like the hourly rental, so Peer Space,
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
other ones, I had like a subscription to another one. But this is
Yeah.
my first like studio home where like our gear is
Right.
there and like we have it set up so nice. We've been like putting nice things, a nice fancy mirror. We got the pro photo lights. Like, it's great.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
so tight. Congratulations. It's such a milestone. One thing about me, Titi, I love a milestone and I'm going to
Oh,
celebrate every little milestone. So I hope you celebrate it, even with like a little sweet treat or something.
thank you. I'm gonna go get one.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I love
Okay,
that.
so getting back into this camera era of your life, I want to go back to that quote where you're like, or in some way you want to show what they sound like. Can you expand on that thought a little more? Like, do you ever tell your subjects that? Are you ever in conversation with your subjects about what you're thinking in the moment as you're building an image, especially when you're using specific techniques? Or, like, is this all an internal practice? This episode is brought to you by Art House, the first Black owned film lab in the city of Los Angeles. Art House specializes in C41, black and white, E6, and ECN2 processing for 35mm and medium format film, using a custom built cinema scanner to deliver stunning movie quality stills. Pick up or drop off a roll at their new location in Chinatown and check them out at arthousefilmlab.com or at Art House Film Lab on IG. And tell them we sent you.
Um, Like I was saying before, it depends on the subject. Like it
Yeah.
also, I mean, and like any photographer will relate to this, but like whether or not you're showing them the screen is like also sort of, it can be personal. Obviously, if like you're on like a e-commerce shoot or whatever, like you're gonna be like sharing the screen, not necessarily, well, the subject in that moment doesn't really get a say.
Yeah.
But if someone seems like they're ready to be like a creative partner with me, like they're not like fighting
Mm,
me, but they're like curious, then yeah, I'm gonna be like, hey, like I have this set up first, and like wanted to do this for you because like let's say I'm taking pictures of a musician who's recorded albums before, so I can listen to them. I might be like, oh, I
yeah.
really love this piece. And like it made me think of this color, like when you were playing in, like this composer makes me think of this color, and then I know you said you wanted motion blur, so that's why I have these red lights on, yada yada yada. So
I
I will
love it.
share it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Um, but like I don't know that I necessarily share what I think about them while we're shooting, because I think
Yeah.
that could make them feel vulnerable. But we talk about it afterward, and then I actually find myself talking about what other people see in the people they know that are in the pictures that I'm taking.
Mm,
Like, I'll
yeah.
see someone and they'll be like, "Oh, I saw," like, I had rehearsal the other day. Show up to rehearsal with my cello. First thing someone says to me is, "Hey, I saw those photos you did of Imani wins, and I've never seen them look more like themselves." And I'm
Oh,
like,
I love that compliment.
"Great, yeah." And so that's like the ultimate compliment, and like that makes me happy to hear that because I mean, I don't want them to not look like themselves.
Yeah. And to me, it's kind of like, oh, like you accomplished it. Like you brought out the sound within
Hmm.
them and
Yeah,
made it into the image. That's so beautiful. Do you
yeah,
have
and you
any
can.
advice? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you could take words like playful or like simple words like that, and like playful can translate to like a color. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have any advice for the artist that might show up a little more timid, like how you mentioned a string musician might be like a little shyer? Do you have any advice on how to bring out the authenticity in those people?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, yes. So, okay, let's say like you're already a musician, right? Or you're already doing whatever it is that you do. But if you're a musician, you probably have like a taste or an ear for music that you like. Like that's what you do. You're comfortable liking that. So maybe like find a piece that you really vibe with, even one that you might be like performing or playing or you want to learn, and then start to figure out what you like about that. And maybe that
Mm,
like speaks to something that you see in yourself or like how you want to see yourself. Maybe the piece is like super bold, or it could be that it's super peaceful and calm, introspective. Cause like you don't
mhm.
have to be extroverted in the photos. You can be very like inward too. And that can have some sort of like strong, peaceful vibe.
I
And
love
so I
that.
think like just conceptualizing yourself in terms of music can help. And then like I'll put that music on when you're in the studio. We can listen
Yeah.
to like the Shostakovich Violin Concerto the whole time. Um,
Yes. Wait,
yeah.
that's what you should have put on the POC playlist, girl. Put us on to some
Oh,
concerts.
okay, yeah. Oh my gosh, I could.
Wait. Yes, 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 please.
Okay. So, okay, the classical edition, I would say listen to Shostakovich Violin Concerto number 1.
Girl,
Um,
how do you spell that?
okay. Shostakovich.
Okay.
Yeah, Shostakovich. Dmitri Shostakovich was a Russian composer from the earlier part of the 20th century. Was very censored for his music, and it has a lot of like tension and angst and fury, but sadness and beauty and
Mm.
otherworldliness in it too. Okay, so that's a violin concerto, which means it's going to have a violin soloist playing, and the orchestra is going to be playing in the background. Another
Okay.
thing, if you want to listen to like some music that's just going to like blow your mind, would be
Yes.
Mahler Symphony number 5.
Mahler Symphony number 5.
But I'm gonna give you 2 more
I
because
would
those
love
are
2 more.
2 kinda like we talk about this a lot in music, and, like, obviously, I'm a Black woman in
Mhm.
photography, but also in classical music, and so we
Exactly.
gotta we gotta shout out our contemporary Black female composers right now.
Yes,
So,
please. That's
yes,
exactly what we want. Oh my god.
yes. Number 1 on my list, oh my gosh, my girl Jessie Montgomery, she is she's so cool, her music is so cool. a piece that she just premiered with the New York Philharmonic. Like, I
Mm.
went to the concert, it was crazy. It's called Chemiluminescence.
Chemiluminescence.
Yeah, and if you I don't exactly know how to spell it, but it is a real word, and I think it's like the biological uh thing that happens when things are glowing in the water.
Yeah, luminescence is a real word. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um so yeah, that's a really amazing piece, but any of her stuff, she's got pieces called Strum. There are just so many pieces. So any piece by Jessie Montgomery will be really cool. And then let's see, who else would I shout out right now? Oh, well, we're going to shout out another one of my favorite composers who is a guy named Curtis Stewart. And
Curtis Stewart.
he's, I think Jesse's won a Grammy, but he's not Grammy nominated. I've like commissioned a piece from him. He's just a really amazing violinist and educator and performer, and he's really fun and interesting too. So I
Ah.
would not just listen to his music, but like look him up and see where he's playing in the city and like go like be friends because he's really cool.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Thank you so much for this. You
Yeah.
already had me in a cool little vibe this morning. I listened to a few of your pieces, but the one that stood out to me the most was The Swan, and I ran that one back a few times. Loved it. It was so good. And then I just let YouTube play a few more like videos and things. And I was like, oh, this is so perfect, especially for the morning. So thank you so much for putting us on, especially to the Black artists. Like, I want everybody to know what these classical artists are doing. Black classical artists are doing.
Yes.
Oh, okay. How do we even get back? Because now I have so many more questions about this. Oh,
Bring him on.
okay. So where were we? You were giving us tips on how to make people a little more comfortable who are a little timid, and you were like, you'll play some of their songs that they're really excited about,
Hmm.
to help them kind of imagine themselves, essentially. What I loved about that point that you said there was that you still allow them to show up as shy. And I think that's such an important technique or factor, something to take into consideration, that every time you photograph somebody, they don't need to be an extrovert. They don't need to appear as an extrovert. And I think I see that in your work, especially if I go back to your website, there was this one photo that stood out to me that I would love if you could share more about this set. Her. I love this because I kind of got that vibe. To me, she looks really cool. I think she knows exactly what she's doing. And I love the fact that you have like the end of the backdrop in the frame. It adds like a sense of like depth and dimension, and it's like this color palette with what she has on. But she doesn't seem like the opera singer that you mentioned earlier. Like it's not like this big thing, but it isn't exactly timid. It's just potentially a bit reserved, potentially internal, maybe a thought leader in some regard. Can you talk about, maybe if you have more to expand on in situations like this, like how you get this type of emotion out of your subjects?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
also,
So,
I could be wrong. She could be the most extroverted person there is.
no, no, no. So this is Madison, and they are sort of like a thinker and a little bit of a creative director themselves.
Mm,
This was the first photo shoot I did for them, and I think we've done two more since then, both with just her and or them, and then also two of their groups. So for
got
this
you.
shoot, I had this directive of the motion blur, and I did ask, sometimes I'll ask people to give me like five descriptor words that they think
Mm.
about themselves. Because, like,
Oh, I
I
like
mean,
that.
might be a little challenging to do, but like they're like, okay, I can do that. And it might be shy, awkward, like weird, whatever, you can really write whatever you want. You're allowed to be yourself. And I remember that some of their words were like inward, sort of like
Mm,
protected, things like that. And then we did want to have I think, because I let my clients pick their photos, of course. I mean,
yeah.
I may design the creative direction, but they're gonna pick what they want.
Yeah.
Um, and they liked the bit of the backdrop pulled out because it broke the third wall or whatever, so it wasn't, like,
Yeah.
perfectly, like, in a photo studio, it was, like, a little bit more undone, So that was like the reason for that not perfect, I think is what we were
I was just about to
specifically
say
looking for.
that imperfectness. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Also, thanks for
Thanks.
correcting on the pronoun. My bad. Sorry, Madison.
It's okay.
Continuing on to this, you have this whole life as a cellist and this whole life as a photographer that you've built this incredible career with for both. Are you excited about any other mediums? Are you exploring any other ideas? Or are you like, I found my spot for now?
You know, what a great question. You have the best questions. I'm
Oh
having a
my
lot of
God,
fun in
thank
this
you.
interview. You're making me think. It's good. It's good. I was feeling tired. Now I'm awake. So
Perfect.
I would say that I am a person who really loves change. Um,
Mm,
and so I don't have like a it just comes, I don't but it probably does come in a sort of predictable time frame.
mm.
I'm starting to feel like I want to have a sort of like curatorial role or like
Ooh.
creative director role, like actually be doing that, like not separating it because I obviously want and need to shoot like for my creative like self, but like having this sort of like overarching, maybe even longer line of vision for a project or like a brand or something. It's like been cooking in my head and I really love working with the team. So yeah, I don't know. That's like
Mm.
definitely yes.
In your imagination, would it still be music centered?
I think for that, it would be probably visually centered, but it could be also involving with music. Like it would actually be perfect if it was like visually centered for a music company.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah.
you work for Sony or Bose or something.
Yes. 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 Motown.
Ooh, I like this, right?
Yeah.
Like, ooh, I love this. I wanted to bring a little bit more of your more recent work. So I'm gonna pull up your Instagram again because this image is stunning, girl. This, I feel like I know exactly who she is, and she's that
Yeah.
girl, and she don't
She is
play.
that girl. No.
She look like she don't play. Can you talk about this shoot and how your use of fabric or maybe even set design in general comes
Hmm.
into play like during your creative expression?
Oh, yeah. So I love a little bit of set design. I love a lot of set design, really. And like I've
Mm.
like straight up built stuff, like hammer nails, putting it together. But I really love fabric
Oh, you're a
draping.
fabricator. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm a fabricator. I'd be like making stuff up. I stay at Acme Rentals, like pulling little things and like
Let's
putting them in the
go.
set. Like I literally, I don't know. I just got a shipment of I think it's like 100 feet of tulle. So I don't
Ooh.
even know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I needed to have it on hand because like you can't get that stuff fast. So I was just like, I'm just gonna buy it. It'll come.
Yeah.
Um, so when I'm like dreaming up a set for someone, sometimes I'll like go straight into I use this program called Set-Alite. Let me put everybody onto this.
Yeah, I love
And you
satellite.
can yeah, so you can like put the lights and all that stuff, but like it's hard to add other things into it. So sometimes I will just go to the studio and like do a test as well. But for Vivian, who is the lady in the blue photo, she's a composer, right? So she
Mm.
writes music as well. And I was really, really, really struck by this piece. I forget the name of it, but it was a string quartet and it was about like different games, very playful sounding. And so that immediately told me that like I wanted to have some motion, but she hadn't like when we spoke in our consultation, she hadn't like talked about like motion blur or anything. So I'll tend to steer clear of that if someone doesn't ask for it directly because I just do it so often. So then I
Yeah.
wanted to see if I could like have the fabric moving and stuff like that. And then we wanted her to look kind of like she knew something, but like playful too.
Mm.
And so that's why we got the hands in motion. And like she does a lot of writing of music. So we wanted to make sure her hands were visible, but not just like sitting there holding a pencil.
Ah, I love that. That's perfect creative direction. It's so creative and playful. I want to
And
come back to your duo. Can you tell us about your duo? While you do that, I'll go through the Instagram so I can show people some more recent work.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then if you want to find super recent work, if you're on my Instagram and you go to the links at the top, there should be like I want to say it's a pick time link. And that's
Okay.
like every shoot I've done for the last 2 or 3 years. So yeah,
Oh,
super
perfect.
vulnerable, but like have at it if you will. So my duo is with my husband. His name is
Ooh,
Edwin Kaplan. Yes. We've been married for
you've been
I
married for
did
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, we are a viola cello duo and we commission a lot of new music. Actually, we commission music from this guy, Curtis Stewart, the composer that you're seeing right
Oh,
now.
this is Curtis Stewart. Okay,
This is Curtis
yes.
Stewart. Yeah. So I've done his photos for the last 2 rounds of photos. So most of the photos you'll see of him online, I probably did. That's pretty cool.
Amazing.
Um, And yeah, so the duo, it's we have to commission music because it's not a typical instrumentation. So we like get little pieces from
Mm.
friends, different people write us things. And yeah, it's fun to have a small chamber ensemble. So this would still be called a chamber ensemble too.
Oh, okay. So it's just two or
Yeah.
more for a chamber.
Yeah, exactly. Two or more.
Okay. Okay, beautiful. So how did this start? Like, were you guys already dating and then became a duo? Like, what's the story behind that?
Yeah, so it started during the pandemic and we were dating, but like we weren't playing together. I don't know, we just like were that wasn't on our like radar a whole lot. So, we got a call from a friend who happened to be a manager for artists who was like, "Oh, like I have a concert and like we need someone to play it. And if you can get us your materials and come up with a name and like get me a recording like in the next week, I'll give you the gig." And we were like, "Oh my
Mm.
God, how do we do that?" So I took out my
Right.
camera. We went to the studio. I got the timer and the trigger set up, everything. Like I did our photos, we had videos, we just like did it homegrown. We got the gig and we played the concert, and that was the beginning of Duo Kaigo.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
beautiful. So, when you're building a chamber like this, I'm sorry if this is a silly question, but it's only the two of you, right? Like there's no drum coming from anywhere else. There's no additional violins coming from anywhere else. Like it's just the two of y'all building a piece.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so beautiful. I would love to see one of your concerts live. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. You totally should. I play a lot of
Yeah.
concerts. Yeah.
Next time I'm in New York, I'll slide. Hopefully you have
Absolutely.
a set happening at the same time.
Probably. Probably.
Right. The last question I have for you, a part of the segment, is what kind of legacy do you hope to leave with your work between both music and visual arts?
Mm. Hmm. I would hope to leave a legacy that inspires people to try new things or to that makes them feel like, oh, I wait, like I'm inspired to like do it differently, basically. Like I don't,
Mm,
like I said earlier, I like change a lot. And so if someone like were to see a photo of mine like 30 years from now, I want them to be like, wait, like I didn't know that classical musicians looked like that too then, or in a recording that I might make in the future. I wouldn't want it to sound like the recording of the piece that already happened. I want it to be like different and new and like interesting. I call it like scratching your brain, like really like
yeah.
starting something new, like setting someone in a new direction.
This is so beautiful. Titi, thank you so much for talking to us. We're going to take a quick little break and we'll be right back. And we're back. This segment is called the Shot segment. This is our moment to dream with you, manifest with you, help you manifest to get something that you're really hoping for. And you kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier with, the new medium that you're interested in, but it does not have to be related to that. So, in this moment, you want to shoot your shot. who is someone or a company you would love to photograph or work for?
Mm. I mean, I would love to shoot Io Edebire for sure.
Oh,
That would
yes.
be
Yes.
as a Nigerian girly myself, I would just love to like shoot her. But um, yeah, a company or like someone I would love to. I mean, Motown Records. Yeah, I said that already. Or like the
Oh
cover of
my
Rolling
God,
Stone.
yes.
Bring it on. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, beautiful. So, Io, you already know about TT, and we know that for sure. So, what we need you to do is have your people get in contact with her people so we can get this thing going because I can already see the images. And those images, I think, should be the ones that are on the cover of Rolling Stone. It's like, why not? Let's
Hey,
just feature Io in Rolling Stone. Why not? Maybe
let's
she's
do it.
also with a music artist for some reason. Who knows? Maybe she has a secret talent that we don't even know about. That's what
She
we
can
need to
sing
know. And
probably.
then, right, exactly. And then after that shoot, after that publishes, Motown hit the line because clearly we have Titi here with a ginormous portfolio full of incredible music artists that she can, of course, just do the same thing with you guys. What's the holdup? Hit the email.
Oh, I love it.
Titi, thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you here. Could you please tell the people where they can find you and how you would like to be found?
Oh, yes. I mean, you can find me anywhere. You might find me in real life. If you see me on the train, say hi. I'll be like, hey. But you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, actually. I am still on there, believe it or not. But yeah, that's it.
One of the videos I was listening to today was on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cute."
Yeah. It's from my mom.
True. Also, hey, mom.
Hey.
Thank you so much. This has been so beautiful. You can find us at Photographer Life Check everywhere you get your podcasts. Please be sure to subscribe both on YouTube and Spotify. That's where you can watch us and see all these beautiful faces and all of their beautiful work. So definitely tap in there. You can find me, your host, at QURISSY, pretty much everywhere too. So we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Thank you so much, Chrissy. Bye.
Girl, now I showed the lace. Ah!
Secrets. I'm kidding.